Hello, everybody. Hello. Good afternoon and welcome everyone to Tea Time Tuesday here at the Renewal Center where we pause, reset, and build resilience. Hello, Carmela. How you doing over there?
I'm doing good.
Good, good. It
I'm
is good to
staying
be.
warm.
Yes, yes. It has been cold, I hear. So I
Mhm.
stepped out briefly. So good to have everyone on today. I want to welcome everybody. Please make sure that you go ahead and share, please, on our Tea Time community here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Let's get the likes up, everybody. I'm looking at the likes, and I want to see some more likes. We got just 2 likes. Let's get the likes up. Please make sure that you share this. Please make sure that you invite others here in our Tea
Mhm.
Time community. We're going to focus today on stirring up greatness. So please make sure you get your journal. Make sure you get your tea of the week today. We want to connect with you as we pause, reset, and build resilience. So excited. A couple of things I want to cover before we get started in our renewal practices today is Happy Veterans Day.
Yes.
Happy Veterans Day. Thank you so much for those of you that have served our nation. Thank you for protecting our freedoms and our liberties, defending our Constitution. Appreciate everything that you do to preserve our republic.
Yes.
And so just grateful and thankful for that. So again, all of our veterans chime in. All right, invite everyone else over to our tea time. We're looking forward to this and looking forward to you being a part of what we're going to do today. So again, happy Veterans Day.
Happy
Thank you so
Veterans
much.
Day.
All right, folks, like, share, subscribe. Also want to just again say that this month in November, we're celebrating 5 years of renewal, celebrating our journey and 5 years of lives
Woo!
transformed. I'm excited about that. I am excited. We've been able to renew minds and restore lives. It's been incredible. So I'm excited about this. I want to thank everybody for being a part of the Renewal Center. All of our tea times, or maybe our reforming culture. Maybe when we had the center, you came by and saw us, had tea with us, sat on the porch with us. Perhaps you held a book signing. Sometimes you came by, or perhaps you've participated in our New You Digital Discipleship or a Friday morning prayer, and
Mhm.
so much that we've had to
So
offer. I
much.
want to thank everyone for being a part of that. So I'm grateful for 5 years and what's coming forward. So
I
awesome,
am too.
awesome.
A lot
Grateful for
going
that.
on.
Absolutely. A lot of things to serve each other. So grateful for everyone being a part of this today. So let's go ahead and pause and reset and grab your tea. Our tea of the week is Orange Cinnamon Spice. That's a black tea blend that features black tea leaves, orange peel, and cinnamon chips or sticks. And it's very nice fall tea. It's an autumn tea. It is warm. It does have some spicy, citrusy flavors. So I don't have that today, but I do have a little bit of orange in mine. I'm doing actually a black tea today. And so hopefully you can connect with us with your tea of choice today. So please share with us, if you
Mhm.
will, what your tea of choice is today. I have some Earl Grey and I do have some cinnamon in my Earl Grey. Carmela, what you got over there?
I have what do they call it? Sweet and spicy, and then I put some cream in there, like some pumpkin
Okay.
spice. I'm ready.
Nice. Very nice. I should have done that myself too, but I've got mine.
That
Excited
looks
about
good.
that. And I'm looking, yeah, I need it from my throat anyway. So, with all the weather change, everyone. So, how's everybody doing? Put one word there in the chat. Let's do a quick check in. Hello, Monique. Good afternoon. All right, Spice Chai. All right,
You
what's your
ready?
tea of choice? All right, everybody ready? Hopefully, you're all folks for your Veterans Day and you can join us. I have my journal. We want to get ready and prepared. All right, blessings as well to you, Sharon. Thank you so much for being on today. Hello, Hope. Good afternoon to you. And again, thanks everybody for celebrating Veterans Day with us and our 5 years here at the RC.
Yes.
All
Yes. I'm
right.
put that back up again, just one more
Yes.
time, right? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And put this back up. Okay.
Absolutely. So thank you all so much for being a
Woo!
part of our community. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the shares up. Invite others to our tea time for today. Before we get started in our renewal practices with Carmela today, okay, Sharon's having water. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I want us to take a pause here. We're going to locate ourselves. We're going to take a minute and honey lavender tea. All right. Thank you so
That
much,
sounds
Hope.
good.
Yes. Let's take a moment, if you will, and let's just pause. Let's reset. Let's center ourselves. I know there's a lot of movement that's going on. It's important that we take this time to do that. So let's just take a minute. Let's pause. Let's locate ourselves. After this video, then we'll go into our renewal practices for the day. Just take a deep breath, everyone, and just locate yourself and just release. Take another deep breath. And just locate yourself. Now breathe out. Yes. Very good. Very good. Take another deep breath. Thank you so much. Excited, excited, excited. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone being a part of our locating yourself. How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
All right. We're going to go turn over to Carmela, who's going to take us into our renewal practices for the day.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. It's so good to see everybody. Hope everybody is staying warm, like Patrick said. I know we are freezing in different parts. Well, I know to Patrick, it's not cold here, but it's cold to me. It's freezing outside. But I'm glad that we're all here today and hope that you all are doing really well. If you would, please grab your tea time journal. We're going to do something really unique today. I'm going to be talking about a topic that I think, I don't want to say I know everyone has something that they can take away from this. Hello, how you doing, Nicole? It's good to see you too. Good afternoon. If you would grab your tea time journals, and I'm going to put this on the screen. I'd like everybody to take a moment and just take this in. Let's see if I can find this slide. And if you would just tell me what you're thinking. We're going to take a moment and just do some deep thinking and ask for participation today on this Tuesday afternoon. What are you seeing in front of you? What is that? What do you think that might mean? I know that our goal today is to talk about stirring up greatness, but we're going to start off with this. So if you can put in the chat, what is it that you're taking away from this? What does this mean to you? And I think I got a little bit of music playing in the background. Let me turn that off. I see a response coming in. Oh, hello. How you doing, Alicia? Good afternoon to you. Okay, if everyone can take a minute and take a look at our slide, it says reset, build your strength, conglomerate, and then it also has a light bulb. So what are you thinking? What is the light bulb on your head in your head telling you about right now about building your strength conglomerate? Oh my goodness, yes. Monique, you're right on point there. Balance, okay. Somebody else? Balance. Welcome to tea time today. Balance, absolutely. Anyone else? What's going on in your head when you see that? Of course, you see the two scales right there in front of you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring us back. Okay, so Patrick, what came to your mind when you saw that?
I immediately looked at the aha light bulb.
Okay.
I saw the balance, and I was like, okay, it's a balance, but I also saw the light bulb in the thought bubble. So I thought about perhaps the light bulb going on, recognizing what's going on inside of me, or maybe recognizing, do I have balance? So I thought about that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Alicia, she's coming back with balance and justice. Oh, wow, this is good and good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Today we're going to talk about some things that we're all attached to. This can strengthen each and every one of us in our tea time, because actually, when we get together on tea time, we're always talking about resetting ourselves. I want to put it out there that we are, of course, in the month of November, and we have another month, and that will be it for 2025. So going into 2026, we want to kind of reset ourselves and kind of take a little bit of a focus within and look and see about some things that we're going to talk about. And we're talking about building your strengths right now. If we go back to that slide, I'm going to share this. It says, build your strengths conglomerate. So if you think about resetting yourself and building a conglomerate, a conglomerate is a number of different things that's put together or comes together or synergizes together or group together to form a whole. But check this out. A conglomerate also means each of those things remain a distinct entity. Okay. So think about that. We're going to be talking about mixing things together today. But really, if we take a moment, I'd like us to look at this again. There's a key word in there, and it's not just conglomerate, but it's strengths. And so as we're going to talk about today, going into November, we're going to go into December, kind of wrap things up for the year, getting ready for next year. We're going to look at building our strengths. Okay, now everybody out there, sometimes we talk about our strengths, right? And it's also part of building resilience, because sometimes we need to bounce back and kind of recalibrate. And sometimes we might need to get a little tenacity in us and some courage to remind us of how God wired us. And not only that, to have I would say, just the encouragement and the empowerment to know that we have been uniquely designed and God has given us God-given strengths, each and every one of us, right? So each one of our strengths are needed. They're essential, right? We're going to get to the core of this in a minute, and contribute to the whole. Think about the conglomerate. Think about each strength. Think about that. And it's a makeup of who we are, right? And I see a remark coming in. I want to go ahead and put it out there. Okay, so Sharon, she said she's finding balance in her planning. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so think about the word conglomerate. Think about strengths. Think about that you got different things going on, different strengths, these great essential things, right, Patrick? Yeah. But then each one of these things have their own unique entity. They stand on their own, even though they're set apart, but they synergize together. Okay, by keeping this in mind, we can become more productive. This is what we're going to get to. We can become more impactful by building our strengths and making them a conglomerate, meaning each one that we have is a strength that may be different, but is forming a whole. And we got some synergy going with our gifts, or we have our synergy going with our strengths, right? And so really, I like to put this word out there. Our strengths are harmonizing together. They're harmonizing together. So going back, let's go back to that slide again. Here we go. So how do we maintain balance? Some of you all said balance. Thank you. How do we maintain balance? Because balance is so important with so many things. And balancing our strength is important to building our strength conglomerate. So we can become more effective and we can build a long-lasting outcome. Okay, we'll get there in a second. When we think of strengths, we think of something powerful. When we think of strength, we think of that arm. Let me take this down. When we think of the word strength, we think of that arm building, right? Patrick, I see you nodding your head. Come on, jump in. What's going on in your mind right now? I see your wheels.
I was thinking about the word conglomerate, because when I think about conglomerate, I think about how each business in a conglomerate maintains its identity, but it contributes to the collective. Yes. So I begin to think about how our strengths and things like that, we contribute to the collective of how we deal and collaborate with others, but yet we still maintain our competency.
Woo, so you're already going there. That's right. And this is how we the conglomerate is a lot of different things making up the whole, influencing and impacting the outcome others, but yet and still you're bringing out the essence of what you are or who you are in, right? and that's even with teams, right? You got all these different gifts going on, talents, and it's a conglomerate, but you're still trying to meet one goal. And each person still has their own entity. So when we think of strength, we think of power, and we think of our strengths as powerful agents. So hold on to that. Okay, so I want to show you something really quick. I get excited about this one. This is what we're going to talk about today, y'all. So just I want you to just soak this in. And I did this. I think, Patrick, I did this on T-Time about 3 years ago. So I'm kind of bringing it back with a little twist. So here it is. Stirring up greatness. Y'all see that bowl? Just steamy soup and stew. Savoring greatness, bringing pieces together and serving it up. So just think about that wonderful stew and soup and all the elements that go into it. So Patrick, now, before we get going, see, Patrick and I are from the Low Country. Our parents came from the Low Country. So we are used to okra soup.
Sure are. That's right.
We're used to making okra soup, and it's nothing like a bowl of okra soup. We got corn and okra and the tomato sauce, and right, Patrick, smoked meats and all of that. Just making you get excited right now by eating some, right?
Yes. Lima beans, some corn.
Lima beans and corn. And when we go over to each other's houses, sometimes on the holidays or just in general, we're looking sometimes to get together and make a pot of okra soup, right? And for those of y'all that don't eat okra soup, I want you to think of your favorite soup, your favorite stew, okay? What we're talking about with that conglomerate is mastering balance. Now, I'm not a chef, so I had to do some research. But when you're thinking about balancing flavor, okay, the chef, when they're talking about balancing flavor, it's about, well, when you get the ingredients together, and it could be tangy, it could be savory, it could be salty or any of that stuff. But when you put all of that together and make a blend, all of your ingredients are balanced and well-rounded. And think about that. You got sweet, you got sour, you got salty, bitter. To accomplish the perfect blend, each flavor in the dish isn't singled out. And as much, it doesn't overpower the other flavors. So when you're thinking about this, we're to create a well-rounded dish, right? So how many of you guys know that when you get your dish, I see you out there, Patrick, you got your dish. This is an empowerment tea time today. And you got all of these different ingredients. Y'all go ahead and put in the chat, what's your favorite stew? What's your favorite dish? What's your savory dish? You just love it. But you got to put all these different pieces together. Each ingredient brings its own strength, its own uniqueness to the dish. So we're ultimately looking to have good balance. Because how many of you guys have ever done this? You tasted something and it's like, there's too much salt. It's too much of this spice. Something is off, or this vegetable is too crunchy. It's not cooked all the way. It's overpowering everything else in the dish. Or could it be it's not enough? It's not enough salt. It's not enough sugar. It's not enough of this or that. Or how about this? It hasn't had time to blend or harmonize with all the rest of the ingredients. So y'all know sometimes people are cooking stuff, or you may have cooked something and then you rushed it, and then it wasn't that perfect balance. So hold that thought about synergizing, harmonizing, and bringing balance and blending, because in a conglomerate, no entity is to outpower the other. In order to have a perfect balance of your strengths, we want to bring all of these strengths together so they'll work well. Okay, go ahead, Patrick. I see that you want to share something.
Oh, I was responding. I was thinking about just how the seasoning in our lives, represents certain competencies, our capabilities. It shouldn't overpower. We should look to have a smooth blend in between everything that we do, especially when we're working with others or we're part of a larger team. And that's important that we're aware of that, because that helps. You don't want one particular spice or seasoning to overpower everything, and then the flavor is just totally consumed by one area. So I was just thinking about that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And that's so important. We don't really look at when you're creating, let's you say you are a chef. I know there's some people out here right
Yeah.
now in the chat I know that cook. So if you're cooking and you don't have a perfect blend of something, then the dish is going to be off. And then there's always something else that's overpowering. Like for instance, I like to make sweet potato pie. But if I put too much cloves in it, it's not going to taste good. It's going to be too that spice is going to overpower everything else. So you want a
Mm-hmm.
perfect balance. I'm using it as an analogy, but then
Mm-hmm.
think about your strengths. I see some of these coming in. Look at this, Patrick. We got cream cheese, chicken chili,
Mm-hmm.
chick chili, gumbo. Thank you. And so Patrick said the seasons should complement each other. Wow. Think about that blending and balancing. Okay. So as we're taking this in today, think about that slide that we had earlier. I want you to take a moment, grab your tea time journals. We're going to do a reflection. I want you to pause and take a look at self-awareness now. How can you bring balance to your own personal strength or with your own personal strength? Okay, so while you're thinking of that, you're probably thinking, well, I don't even know what my strengths are. So now we're gonna talk about that really quick. I want you to take a moment and let's go back to the slide.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind about your strengths. Your strengths. And I'm going to get to that here. Let me go ahead and put this out here. All right. We're going to build your strength conglomerate. And how do you do that? We're going to be aware that your strengths are essential. First of all, you got to believe that what you have, what you are bringing or how you're wired, you use this as a reset to reset your thinking right now. You got to be aware that what you have is essential. So if you first step to the plate and be confident about the strengths that you have, which we're going to get to in a minute, then once you do that, just start identifying your strengths. Now we're going to identify your strengths. Go ahead and put in the chat, what are your strengths? So you may be thinking, what do you mean? So your strengths could be you're outspoken, you're passionate, you're a person that has good perspective, you're empathetic, you're meticulous, prudent. How about candid? Some people are just good, candid people. You're curious, you got good discernment, judgment. You're fair. You might be a person that's very fair. You're a great leader. You have leadership potential. You're creative. You're trustworthy, kind, reliable, team player. And the list goes on. So go ahead and put in the chat, share with the Tea Time community, what are your strengths? Maybe put your top 3 in there. And so when you're writing this in your Tea Time journal, write as many as you can when you think about it. But for today, go ahead and put a few of your strengths in the chat. Okay. So while you're doing that, identify your strengths, think about what they are and make a list of them. And so why would you want to do that? Because now look at the scale. Once you do that, you're going to leverage your strength to create a perfect balance, because you don't want any strength to outshine the other. You want a perfect balance. And that's great because you don't want to just say you're a person that's patient and that's all you are is patient. You just lean into patience. But then you are a person that is very good with being diligent. You're organized. You want to hone in on those too. Okay. And then practice utilizing your strengths by making them more effective. Okay. And so with that being in mind, Patrick, your wheels are spinning. And I also see some Tea Time community participants coming in here. You want to share some things?
Yeah, I was just thinking about my strengths and just different ways to ensure that I use but don't overuse. Because many times you can be in your strength, but then you can, like, for instance, strategy is one of my strong skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
But if I stay in strategy too long, I miss the tactics
It's good.
because I'm looking at the big picture. I'm just big picture and got to see vision. Yes, that's important, but it's also important to see how we get there in the process as well. So I just began to just think through making sure that I keep a balance of not underutilizing it, but also not overusing it and staying in that kind of that sweet spot. Hey, Keisha. Yep.
That sweet spot can sometimes we can hide in that sweet spot
Mm-hmm.
and just like, well, I know I'm self-disciplined, and like you said, you're staying there, but you're not exercising. It's almost like exercising in order for our bodies to be balanced. You know how it feels when you just exercise just your legs, but you don't exercise the top of your arms or the top part of your body, and it's like there's an imbalance there, right? And so in order for your whole body to have balance, you got to exercise everything, right? It's the same thing when we're working with, like Patrick, it says, you don't want, I'm kind of taking what you're saying and put it into perspective. You don't want a deficit in certain areas because you're not focusing or leveraging those particular strengths. Remember, every strength that you have,
Mm-hmm.
every strength you have is essential. You
Mm-hmm.
still need to have to bring out the creative part of you. If you're a creative or the problem solver, maybe you need to bring that into the mix, right? And so it's all about strategy. I know this is what you're saying, your strength is, Patrick, but it is about strategy, even with that, because you definitely want to be able to have an outcome, and you want to work towards that outcome by balancing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Everybody's putting in. Okay, we got some great.
Resilient, adaptive.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what you got.
Mm-hmm.
Ideation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to keep up here with the list. You want to read these?
Team oriented, growth mindset,
Yes.
compassionate. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Leadership, kind and
Mhm.
compassionate.
Yes.
Caring, organized, critical thinker, collaborative, leadership,
Wow.
analytical, kind.
These are good.
Troubleshooter, supportive, practical yet analytical. Mm-hmm. Resilient and adaptive. Mm-hmm.
And so you look at everybody that put
Mm.
all of their strengths in there. When is the last time you really wrote that down and really took a look at make that self-awareness inventory about yourself? Because sometimes we lean more into, we're so busy in execution that we forget about mixing all of our strengths together, because that makes us balanced. We'll be able to become more effective and have more impact when we have some balance, right, Patrick?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at how you're going to stir it up. I know you guys saw the title today. So let's take a look at this. All right, let's stir up the greatness in you. When you think about greatness, that's meaningful contributions. That means exceptional results and talents. Your God-given strengths are great. They're great. So let's put them into motion. So put a name to your best great qualities. You just did that. You looked at your strengths. This is something that you want to continue doing. When you look at that bowl of soup, that bowl of chili, the gumbo, the okra soup, the chicken, I forgot, somebody said chicken something, I forgot what it was. When you look at these dishes, all of these dishes have so many different ingredients that have to be well balanced. And these things, the ingredients aren't there to overcompensate or overshadow the other, right? So if you need more salt, okay, you add more salt in the mix. That's good. But you need balance. So if you know there's not enough salt, then you add a little bit more until you get balance, right? So start putting a name to your qualities. Start working your qualities this year, and start looking into how am I going to work with this? What areas of growth are you thriving in? So, well, maybe I'm thriving in this aspect of my talents or this aspect of my strength. Maybe I'm really thriving in having perspective or bringing trustworthiness, or I would say being proactive. Maybe I'm very good at being proactive and I'm thriving right now in that area. So write down these things, become more self-aware of, stir up the greatness within you by looking at what areas you're already thriving in. I see some remarks coming in, Patrick, and let's see what we have here. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, okay. We're not going to look. We're just going to keep on flowing here. Okay. So with that being said, let's go back to where we were. Okay, so not only are we going to put a name to it, we already did that. So I encourage you out there, everybody, Tea Time community, to go look at a strengths list and just look at all, and just, I mean, really be honest with yourself and start pulling out all of your strengths. Start looking at, I'm strong in this area. And so when you're strong in that area, then you start looking at how you're going to use it. And then what areas of growth are you already striving in? And then next, we're going to do this. What are your greatest milestones? Now, we talk about this all the time. You don't get to a milestone without using your strength. Okay, I'm going to close that off here. You can't get per se to a milestone without having strength in any area, I would say, right?
That's right.
Okay. If you're studying and you pass a test or you got a certification, well, there was some diligence in there. There was some perseverance in there. There was some accountability in there, right? For you to achieve that. So you put that in a mix with your milestone and you say, you know what? I just accomplished this. So how did I even get there? Make a list of every milestone. How did you get there? What strength got you there? See, this Tea Time renewal practice will cause you to raise up confidence and have the ability to see beyond just some of your, what you may say, I have just some ordinary strengths. But you'll be amazed. You start looking at your milestones and how you got there, then you start taking in consideration all the different strengths that you have. Patrick? Would you like to go?
I'm just reflecting. No, you're good. I'm reflecting on what I was talking about earlier about use, underuse, and overuse. Strengths are meant to be leveraged. They're meant to be leaned into. They're meant to be sharpened. They're meant to be refined. They're meant to be on display. And sometimes we spend so much time on weakness, like what I'm not doing. Conversely, we need to focus a lot of our attention. I would encourage us, as you're sharing today, on how the work that we're doing currently and our strengths will add to the collective. That's why I'm over here kind of just thinking through and taking some notes and thinking through what I'm doing, how I'm doing that professionally. And not only that, I think that helps you with validation when you're looked over or overlooked, excuse me, or when the recognition is not there, when the appreciation's not there, it becomes self-affirming. And it helps you so that, because you're going to go through days where you're not recognized, you might go through days where things are overlooked and you're in the larger group of people that you're working with. And it's important that when you look at the journey of your strengths and highlight those, it'll help you navigate during those seasons and those moments. So that's kind of what was top of mind for me.
I like that. And I'm like that you saw that, Patrick. That's getting me, I'm getting excited. I'm a piggyback off of that. But if you think about what Patrick just said, see, when you take inventory of your strengths, that does give you an opportunity to not look at what's not there or what's lacking or what you're told you're not. And then, or what you're not getting the not accolades, but the empowerment that you need for what you're doing. And you'll be able to not lean into that, needing that, because it keeps you from worrying about, well, how did I do? Well, what did I do? Well, the evidence is right there in front of you that you obtained this milestone because of the strengths that you already have. And I like that. And I'm a piggyback off of that, because how many of you guys out there, and Patrick covered this last year, I believe, about the imposter syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
We sometimes put ourselves in the imposter. We kind of get into this imposter syndrome mode because of who we think we are not. And we don't have to worry about who we think we are not when we are leveraging the strengths that we have. See, now we're not focusing on the weaknesses part. We're focusing on the strengths part, and how we can mix all of that up, bring balance to this, and present all of our strengths as we're growing, right? We're growing, but we step into a place where I got this strength, I got this milestone happen, and I'm walking in this, and I can be more impactful, and that will cause us to move forward in a lot of areas. And so I'm really excited about that. Put your name to your best qualities. What areas are you thriving in? What are your greatest milestones? How are you celebrating them?
Hmm.
So, sometimes we get to a milestone, and it's like, whew, all right, I obtained that goal, and that's all we've done. Just obtain
Hmm.
the goal. But where is the celebration behind the strengths that's building resilience? That's called bouncing back. That's
Hmm.
using all of the places that the stepping stones that you've uh,
Absolutely.
don't use those stepping stones as
Hmm.
building blocks to help us. So how are you celebrating it? Patrick,
Yeah.
what ways do you celebrate your milestones, Patrick,
Wow.
excuse me. I get
Well,
excited.
how do I celebrate my milestones?
Yeah,
Um, well, one of the things I take time each day to reflect on what went well. And the reason why I do that is because in my line of business and the work that I've done, and not only that, the human mind is just wired for negativity. It
that's
just
right.
it focuses on what's not happening, what's lacking. If it starts, it's a default mechanism that concentrates on what's not going well. And I think it's important. So what I normally do is it's pretty clear what's not going well. It's pretty obvious. So I spend more time focusing on what's going well, and then I ask myself, what can I change? Versus just saying
Ooh,
what's not well. Because the more that I a sheet of paper, I'll do like one side I put a little plus sign, the other side I put a delta sign, a triangle, which represents, instead of saying, well, what's not going well, say what can I improve, what can I change? And I celebrate the milestone by recognizing what is going well and listing it out. And then of course in a group you be very clear about, excuse me, excuse me, I'm sorry, you be very clear about your appreciation and
mm-hmm.
recognition of that with others as well. And the more that you do that, you're fostering that type of environment. So that's just one way that I do it. That
I
helps
love
me,
that.
especially because there's that time where
Mm,
you don't get a thank you don't get a well done, you don't get those things. So that's why it's important to build in those types of self-affirming type of systems and
yes.
moments. Hmm.
And I like that self-affirming system could be this, also tea time community, add that to the renewal practice. Do the diagram for yourself. It's just a
Yeah.
simple diagram you could do. What can I change? What can I improve? And then also, what am I already doing good?
Hmm.
Yeah, like I said, that keeps us from a place of sabotage, self-sabotage. It keeps us from a place of the imposter syndrome, where we're thinking we're not. Oh gosh, am I? But then you take all of what you have learned so far, and you're growing. So if you want to grow, if you want to see yourself grow, if you want to see yourself evolve and cultivate more, then look more at your strengths and what you've already done.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
I feel
also
like the
want to
coach is out of
also
me
want to say
today.
this, Camilla, that we are only as high as our ceilings, and our ceilings are the
Ooh,
people we're around. And so I think it's
that's
important that
right.
we are with people who help us elevate our ceilings and expand our
Mhm.
ceilings. And they do that by helping us recognize and affirming and promoting those strengths that are within us.
Yes,
Otherwise, we'll be around people who want to limit, or they have very glass ceiling mindsets. So, it's important that we look at our circle. You're only as high as your circle. And if you're the
that's right.
highest in your circle, probably need to expand it a little bit,
Mhm.
where your strengths, other people's strengths, and yours are starting to synergize and expanding who you are. So that's another way of celebrating a milestone, is by recognizing the continuous feedback loop of those that you're around as well.
That is so important. Your circle of influence,
Yeah.
being able to extract and extract the greatness in you as well, and then
Hmm.
kind of reflect it and bounce it back.
Hmm.
That's an ever evolving part of, I would say, empowering one another.
Yeah.
So I think this is amazing, that our gifts go so far. I mean, we're talking about not just in an individual as we're stirring up greatness, but we're seeing other people stirring up greatness too, by pulling out, hey, I see that in you.
Yeah.
And this is great, and celebrating the great things that you are, I would say, your strengths as well. And I think that's what, because sometimes people will point out your strengths when you haven't even noticed them yourself.
Right. We're it's like, even when we think about the proverbial Johari window, there's this emphasis on blind spots. We
Hmm.
automatically go to that, but it's like, what about bright spots?
Right.
But we go to the blind spots. That's a blind, I just don't see it. Well, there are bright spots that you don't see. So it's just that by default, there's this emphasis on blind spots. We hear more about that than we hear about bright spots.
Hmm.
So I think that
Like you
maybe
said.
perhaps we change our frame or our paradigm and how we engage on what's powerful within us as far as our strengths are concerned.
Oh gosh, that's amazing. Teton community, I hope that you are really receiving this. I said we got a lot of remarks coming in, and this is good. This is good stuff because you never can run away from your strengths. They're always there to
Mhm.
help us evolve and help
Yep.
us to grow. And so Monique is coming in with a remark. Would you like to read these, Patrick?
Sure. Document your strengths and celebrate your accomplishments. Thank you.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Focus on your strength.
Focus on your strength. What can I change? Iron ever evolving. Yes, that's right. Iron sharpens iron.
Iron. Yes,
Yes.
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 This is amazing. We got another one coming in.
My daily mindset is build as it relates to my strengths.
Hmm. Thank you all. So we see now the fact that it goes beyond us, which we talked about having balance. I'm going to go back again to that really quick. That's why we need to have a conglomerate of our strengths. Now we
Mm.
can see that how they pay so much revenue, so much interest, and we get dividends out of putting investments into our strengths, right? We make it a conglomerate, we stir it up and make it into something great. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave us with this as something to really work on. Let's see, it's 12:46. Let's do 2 minutes in our tea time journal and just think about this. How will you use your areas of greatness to serve others going forward? So that's the whole thing. You use your gift. You know what we always say, bloom where you're planted, or your gift will make room for you. Well, now's the time to allow your gifts to, like Patrick said, you want to see the bright spots. You want to be the bright spot. You want to look at something that's negative or the blind spot. Let's use our gifts to influence and to be impactful to the world around us. So how are you going to start your greatness at this time? How will you use your areas of greatness to serve others going forward? So that's a great way to think about reset. I wonder what I would write in my journal today about how I'm going to use my area of greatness to serve others. Because that's where the power comes from. That's where the power of influence comes in, when you can positively impact the world around you. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning here and just keep this in mind today. You're going to savor your greatness. You're going to bring your pieces together, bring your strengths together, make it a conglomerate. How are you going to serve others? You're going to serve them in the capacity of the extension of the gifts or the strengths that you have. So take that inventory, go ahead and do it, and make this a reset for 2025 going into 2026.
Hmm.
Okay, Patrick, do you have any takeaways? You guys put some takeaways in the chat on how are you going to go to the next phase this year by serving others. And let's put that back up there. Using your areas of greatness to serve others going forward this year.
Hmm. Well, I think for me, what I wrote down was a little converse to that, Carmela. I began to think, watch overusing the maximizer.
Mm.
I think I spend so much time maximizing others, and then also be very fine tuned about my strategy for time off, reframing how I maximize to make sure I finish some personal objectives.
This is good.
So that's how I can serve others. I can't really effectively serve others if I'm in overuse. So I just did
That's
a
good.
quick assessment. Just said, okay, and I'm doing that in some areas because I'm planning, replanning, I'm pulling back, I'm reframing some of my time, recognizing bandwidth issues in my margins. And I think that way I can be more effective in serving others when I'm finishing things that I need to get done.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that. See, and that's the whole thing. We want to make it personal, Teton community. We
Hmm.
don't just want to say, oh, we talked about our strengths today. Oh, I know what my strengths are. We want to really make it personal. And remember, conglomerate, that one word has a lot of meaning. And that
Yeah.
means you're looking at your strengths and they may be putting them all together, but remember, they still remain a distinct entity. So they still gonna
Yeah.
shine on their own, but you still got to put them together to maximize them to make it work. Like that pot of stew, like that okra soup that me and Patrick always eat with our family. We know when that
Yes.
okra soup is right.
We sure do. We like, oh, all right now.
And I know you guys out there know when that dish something's off. There's too much of this spice or it's not enough. So then
Yeah.
you got to bring
Hmm.
balance to it. So
Hmm.
I hope that you all will grab something and be able to maintain balance and know that your gifts are essential, your strengths are essential. So stir up greatness and continue moving forward in this the next few months as we go into 2026. Okay, Patrick, anything you want to share? I don't see much going on in the chat, so I hope you guys put a takeaway in the chat or be able to put something in there that shows that, yeah, I'm going to work on this area, or this is a gift, this is a strength that I want to work on. Patrick?
Oh no, I think I've shared my reflections. I want to just thank you, Carmela, for today's renewal practice specifically. I want to encourage everybody to really look at your conglomerate community. Want to give you a few announcements as we close out our renewal practices for today. Please make sure that you put in the comments your takeaways. We would love to hear from you. Uh, Thank you so much for partnering with us here at the Renewal Center in this month of gratitude and renewal and strengths. I want you to consider partnering with the Renewal Center. These are ways that you can give to the Renewal Center. You can go through our website, therenewalcenters.com/give. You can text Renewal Center to the number there on the screen, and it'll give you a secure link to give. You can also download the mobile app to give as well. And then there's PayPal and Zelle, which is the Renewal Center 2020 at Gmail, and then our Venmo at Renewal Center. Please feel free also to support us with the check or money order to our P.O. Box 1381, Concord, North Carolina 28026. So thank you so much for considering the Renewal Center in your giving and partnering with us. We want to say thank you very much. Also, want to remind you that we have Reforming Culture that started in September. We are now going in the month of November. We are receiving communion each and every Wednesday as well. At the beginning of our Reforming Culture, we're teaching on the Christology of spiritual formation. So we look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time sharp for communion, and then we'll go into our time of teaching on the Christology of spiritual formation. You can register through our mobile app or also through our social media sites. Also, please, you're welcome to come and connect with us in our Friday 6:30 a.m. morning prayer. It's the same Zoom and password for Reforming Culture. Each Friday at 6:30 a.m. Please come and connect with us as we seek the Lord together and recognize the presence of Christ in our midst. There's a Zoom and the password there on the screen. All right, and lastly, want to share with you, ladies, Women at the Well, the last for the year will be Saturday,
Woo-hoo!
December 6th. Wow. Wow. So I want to encourage you. First thing I want to encourage you, invite someone with you. Invite someone new on December 6th. So go ahead and
Yes,
take this flyer, all
yes.
right, and send it to someone new that you have not invited before and say, hey, we have a Women at the Well Bible study series. This is how it's impacted my life, the fellowship and the teaching in the connection of finding purpose, excellence, grace, and liberty in God's presence. And so I want to encourage you, ladies, to please send this flyer and invite someone new for Saturday, December 6th, 2025. And those are our announcements. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Patrick. And
Welcome.
Patrick and I want to say thank you. And again, we want to remember and remind everybody again that we're celebrating.
Hmm.
5 years at the Renewal Center. This is great. 5 years of transformed lives being transformed as we move into the next chapter. So, just in case someone came in and didn't see it at the beginning, we're
Yes.
still celebrating 5 years.
Thank you
Patrick, you
so
want to
much.
close us? You can go ahead and lead us out and
Sure.
everything.
All right. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us. We will see you in 2 weeks for our last one for November. It's going to be 7 p.m. for our specialty time. So please set aside that date. All right. So you can be with us for our special 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tea time. And we're going to leave with locating ourselves again. So, well, if you can bring that back up one more time. And
Yes,
everybody,
I would
before
love
you
to
move
listen.
with your day, let's just pause, take another minute, and just connect, locate yourself, ground yourself. And we want everybody to have a very good day. I am Renewal. Let's take care of each other, and let's pause, reset, and build resilience. We'll see you next time.